Hi friends, welcome back to Brilliant Blue Reviews. My name is Heather, and in this video I'm going to be giving you my review of Karate Kid Legends. I just went to this movie today, Sunday, June 1st, 2025. This movie just came out on Friday in theaters. I saw it with my teenage son, my daughter who's a young adult. My daughter and I both liked it more than we expected to. We actually quite enjoyed it, and we are both giving it like a 4.5 out of 5. My son, surprisingly, is the one who liked it the least. He only gives it a 3.5 out of 5, which I was kind of surprised by that. My daughter said that this was a classic, like hero journey story, which is pretty accurate. My son described it as just a money maker. So I don't think he was too impressed, and I'm not really sure why he was kind of so cynical about it. But I really enjoyed it. I liked it better than I thought I would. If you remember Karate Kid 2, which is my favorite of the original Karate Kid movies, and it's the one in which Mr. Miyagi and Daniel-san traveled to Okinawa, Japan, where Mr. Miyagi is from. Most of it takes place in Japan. Daniel asks about the the room where Mr. Miyagi trains and does his karate. And Mr. Miyagi tells Daniel a story about when one of his ancestors that he's got a picture of on the wall got lost in his fishing boat and ended up in China. So the premise there is that this family that found him and rescued him in China and the Miyagi family became friends and had a very strong bond, okay? So they show you that scene from Karate Kid 2 where Daniel and Mr. Miyagi are having that conversation. And then somehow, like they take the picture away because this part wasn't in that original movie. They include additional story with Mr. Miyagi's voice, maybe somehow computer generated or something, because, the actor is no longer with us. It tells the story a little more, kind of expands on it, on how these two families, the Han family in China and the Miyagi family in Japan, have this strong bond, two branches of the same tree is how they describe it. So that's just kind of some background information, which they do thankfully give you right away at the very beginning of the movie. The reason that's important is because this movie, Karate Kid Legends, kind of combines the original Karate Kid movies, the trilogy, with the Karate Kid remake that came out with Jackie Chan and Jaden Smith. Now in that movie, if you never saw that one, the concept was, it shouldn't have even been called Karate Kid, honestly. The concept was that young kid and his single mom, it's always a single mom, they moved to China because she got a job in China. And same kind of situation as Daniel faced in the original Karate Kid movie. He runs into some trouble with bullies and stuff like that. And this man, Han, which is Jackie Chan's character in the Karate Kid remake movie, he actually teaches him Kung Fu. Okay? He doesn't teach him karate. So a lot of people say that shouldn't be a Karate Kid movie or whatever. Okay, now in this movie that we just saw today, they combine the two. So they take Mr. Han from China in the Karate Kid remake, and they take Daniel-san from California in the original Karate Kid movies. And if you also saw the show that I think was on Netflix, where it's him and Johnny and everything that happened in the years after. I can't remember what it's called. I never watched it. But anyway, it combines these two stories basically together. The new plot is, again, single mom with son learning martial arts, relocating. It's always the same exact plot. It's always a single mom and her son who's learning martial arts, relocating from one city to another. Basically, all three situations have been the same. So in this movie, the son is Lee, played by Ben Wang, and the mom is Ming-Na Wen, who is his mom, and she's a doctor. And they speak perfect English, but they're living in Beijing, and they speak Mandarin too. At the beginning of the movie, they're speaking Mandarin. I was even wondering, how do they speak such perfect English? They sound like Americans, because they are. Okay, the actors are American. They explain, not too far into the movie, this other girl, Mia, that Lee meets once they get to New York City, she asks, how do you guys speak such great English? And he explains that his mom did her residency as a doctor in Hong Kong. Now, if you're not familiar, Hong Kong, which is now again part of China, was for many, many years a British colony. It's much more Western than the rest of China, even to this day, even though it's been returned by the UK back to China. And he said he went to an American school when they lived in Hong Kong. So that's why they speak such good English. The real reason that they speak such good English is because they're American actors. He's training under Mr. Han, learning Kung Fu in Beijing at the beginning of the movie. His mom comes and announces to him that they are moving to New York City because she got a job at a hospital in New York City. So once again, it's a single mom relocating with her son to a different city. When they get to New York City, she starts working at the hospital. He starts going to school, high school nearby. One of the fun characters that I really liked is his SAT tutor, like his tutor to help him prepare for the SATs. That guy is really funny. One of the things that Megan and I both said that we really liked about this movie was that it had a lot more humor than we were expecting. It was very funny in a lot of parts, like really good comic relief and, comedic moments and everything. The other main characters that are in the story and kind of what happens, the first night when they're like unpacking and everything, settling into their new apartment, Lee goes down the street kind of around the corner to get pizza for dinner. And he comes in and he asks for stuffed crust pizza, which they don't have. And so he kind of gets the nickname Stuffed Crust for the rest of the movie, which is kind of funny actually. And this pizza place is run by Joshua Jackson, the actor, which we were pleasantly surprised to see because Joshua Jackson played Dr. Max Bankman on the television show Dr. Odyssey, which just concluded, and I'm pretty sure ABC has decided not to renew. We haven't heard anything, at least I haven't at this point. It was one of those on the bubble shows. The way they concluded the season, we kind of were fine with it. We really liked the show at the beginning, and it kind of went near the end of season 1, which I think is going to be the only season. So I think ABC has decided not to renew the TV show Dr. Odyssey. They could still continue it if they needed to. They left enough things open, but it's going to be totally fine if they don't. And I'm not too upset about it. But this was a different role for Joshua Jackson. I don't remember ever seeing him in anything before Dr. Odyssey. Apparently he was some teen heartthrob guy that I wasn't aware of when I was a teenager. I've only really seen him in Dr. Odyssey, and so I was excited to see him in something else, and this was a very different role for him. He owns a pizza place. He was a single dad of his teenage daughter, Mia, and he was a former boxer. And he's found himself in some trouble in that he's borrowed some money from loan sharks, basically, and they're coming to collect. And they come one night with bats, to kind of like beat him up to collect the money. And Lee, the kid who just moved from Beijing, actually defends him and fights these guys off with his kung fu skills. Victor, that's the character's name, asks Lee to train him to add kung fu skills to his boxing skills. And so that's kind of interesting, and we liked that part because basically it's the kid teaching the adult. So that was a whole interesting part of the plot, that it was Lee teaching kung fu to Victor. And then there's the whole relationship that develops with him and Mia, the teenage daughter. The bad guys, if you will, is Mia's ex-boyfriend Connor, who is learning karate at this really nasty dojo. So think of the jerky dojo that Johnny went to in the first Karate Kid movie. It's kind of like that, with a really jerky, awful guy leading it and running the place. And Connor's in that place. And she said he wasn't like this before he started training there. So it's kind of a similar thing as the first Karate Kid movie. Long story short, Connor and Lee end up head-to-head in a citywide tournament called the Five Boroughs. Martial arts tournament throughout New York City. I don't know if it's a real thing. Does anybody know? Leave it in the comments. And the grand finale, the final, which is between these two guys, is on the top of a skyscraper in Manhattan. Very dramatic. And so it's all the things that happen that lead them to that point is kind of what the plot of the movie is. Ralph Macchio, and actually even Jackie Chan, don't have that big of a role in the movie. They're in there, but Jackie Chan is at the very beginning. And then he comes about, I don't know, 2/3 to 3/4 of the way through. He comes from China and comes to New York City to visit them. Lee's mom, the doctor, she calls him uncle. Now, uncle is a term of like respect, at least in Japanese culture. And so Meg and I were kind of whispering to each other, like, is he actually her uncle? Because they're Chinese. And we weren't exactly sure. But the more we listened to it and the more they talked about stuff, we think he actually was her uncle. So it wasn't just a term of, respect. It was actually, this was her uncle. But he comes to help Lee prepare for this tournament. Then he goes to California. Jackie Chan's character, Mr. Han, goes to California and gets Ralph Macchio's character, Daniel LaRusso, from the original Karate Kid movies, to come and help him learn karate, because he can only teach him kung fu. And those two are just a hoot together. So they're basically like bickering all the time and like trying to demonstrate stuff and using poor Lee as like their prop. And like, he's like, no, I think it would be better if we did it like this. And no, I think we should do it like this. And they go back and forth a lot, and it's really funny and kind of entertaining. And how the kid, it wasn't like in any physical shape by the end to be able to fight in this tournament. It was funny. And so that's kind of what the gist of it is. And so you get the two movie things kind of combined into this one thing. So it has a lot of classic elements from both the original Karate Kid movies and the Karate Kid remake that came out later with Jackie Chan, which was really about Kung Fu, and the same kind of story. So it's really kind of almost like a newer version, if you will. And we liked it. I mean, I really love the original Karate Kid movies too, but we really liked this one too. It's more modern. The editing of the film itself, it was very fast-paced and quick-moving, and kind of cool how they did the shots like in New York City and everything. It also had really good music. Megan and I both really liked the soundtrack to the movie. It really gave it a good pace and a fun feel and everything. It's a pretty good feel-good movie with some positive messages. I think it was rated PG-13. I don't think there was any profanity. There's a little bit of kissing, but that was it for like sexual content. The main thing that you would want to be concerned about is the violence. But I would say that this movie would be completely fine for like older elementary or middle school kids and up. It has some really good positive messages about compassion and respect and perseverance, grief and loss and all of that stuff. There's a lot of really positive messages in there that I think were good. So overall, I would recommend it, and I think it was a pretty good movie, and I don't know why my son is being so cynical about it. But my daughter and I both give it 4 to 4.5 out of 5 stars. Karate Kid Legends, it's in theaters now. If you like this video or found it helpful at all, please be sure to give me a thumbs up down below. If you want to make sure you don't miss any of my upcoming movie reviews, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Have a great day, everyone, and I'll see you next time.